Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Welcome in on this beautiful Tuesday. 66% of that intro is not here, but guess what? The show is still full. I'm joined by my main man, Anson Wells, on the desk today. As you see, the pot thickens, the pot gets better, the package, the members, the prize. It's amazing. Is he going to put it together? We'll talk to him in a second about that. But it's also, wait a minute, it's Tom Mazaway.
I hate LeBron James. LeBron James sucks. The NBA, I used to love the NBA. The NBA was my favorite. And then LeBron James came. You know, Braylon, I'm done.
Tell me about Babe Ruth. I see you.
I remember watching Babe Ruth for the first time. I was there. Rookie season.
Ricky the legend has arrived, baby. I love it.
Shout out to Ricky Burns or Ricky Mazaway, as we now are going to start calling him. And shout out to the man who put him on camera, P. Spivak, my right hand. What's up, P? Oh, man.
My friends, and boy, do we have a heck of a giveaway.
We will. We have a show prepared for you by my man P. Spivak in conjunction with Tom Mazaway, and assistance goes to Anson Wells as well. So it'll be a hell of a show. We'll figure it out. But let's start before then. How are you doing, sir? What's going on in your world? What's up with Anson Wells? Let's dive in.
I'm high on the list of hated men in New York.
Okay.
And I'm embracing it.
But that's what you want in your profession, correct?
Well, you know, to be honest with you, you guys talk about the heckler, and I come up here and I give my stances, and half the chat hates me, half the chat kind of likes me.
Welcome to the world of the media.
For sure. But I forgot about heckling, actual heckling, which I got a chance to do in the post-game show. There was a comment made about Pistons, the fact that they're peasants of the NBA. But again, the Knicks haven't tasted meat in over 5 decades. And I've come to realize, as much as I despise Chicago sports fans, at least they kind of get it.
Yeah.
New York sports fans, I'm not sure if it's the New York school system or what, but it certainly failed them. It's maybe the water, maybe the rats, maybe some bubonic plague running around there, but they just don't get it. And, you know, they have to give them 8 teams to try and get it, and they still don't. So
that's a fair point.
I've been a little caught up in defending our fair city to New Yorkers and reminding New Yorkers that without a salary cap, you would have 8 teams that would have basically accomplished nothing for the last century. So I'm going to be a lot better after the W tonight because the Pistons are winning.
All right, we will actually. All right,
we'll get back to that. I'm just saying, you're asking me how I am.
This is true. I'm
wrapped up in the Pistons right now, Bray.
I don't have any problem with it. I actually wanted to get to that. How do the Pistons win this game? So you believe they're going to win. We'll get to that. We'll also get to the Tigers as well. Yeah. They lost one, but guess what? Still have the best record in the AL at 18-11.
Crazy.
We'll get to that too. Hey, look, you know what? Hey, every once in a while, Jose Altuve has to do something decent, so it is what it is. Golf. I got to take you there before we start the show. Now, I've been on this journey, and Ricky, I know you're on a golf journey. Anybody there on this golf journey, people give you all this information, whether it's your coach, whether it's your friends, whether it's your mentors, whatever. Everybody has a lesson.
Yeah.
I feel like finally I've been able to start to isolate the ones that I feel like I'm already picked up on and start to pay attention to the ones that I couldn't. My iron shots, Ricky, I think I figured it out.
Okay.
Keep your head down. Watch the shot.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I'll turn the sound up for you, my friend.
Oh yeah, do me a favor, Pete.
There you go.
Hit pause. Hit pause. Maz, he always asks, and this is for you. Shout out to Maz, who's in Grand Rapids. Shout out to everything that you're doing with your family. You know what it is. He's with the daughters. He asked, "Why do I love this game so much?" Just take a look at this view if you guys are watching at home, and then listen if you're not. This is what golf is to me. I finally arrived.
Ooh. Oh, man. That's That's what you call compression.
Hey,
That was pure
dude,
compression on that ball.
That was a pure center shot.
So I want to ask you, what changed? Was it the one thing that you changed? The hand? What was it?
The very first thing they teach you is keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's
Which
the
is
thing that
easier
I
said
had,
than done.
and that's the thing I hadn't been doing. Like I was taking it up and bringing it back, and I'm turning I'm letting the club turn my hips. I'm letting the club do that and opening my head, so I'm not centered, if you will. I just relaxed.
Momentum will take you off the
and
ball.
then I said, why can't I'm getting everything right. Even my instructor said, it looks just so good. It's right here. You're trying to turn this way without your hips. Trying to turn without the hips.
You want to watch it
And
fly.
I said, okay, so now I said, I understand that. Why does it feel so awkward? Like, how the heck can I do that? You keep your head down.
Yeah.
That's correct.
You keep your head down. I kept my head down, and it was the first time. Literally, I have a whole video, about 30 shots that all look good. Don't get me wrong. Some was left center or left
that's
a bit,
golf.
right center a little bit.
That's
There
golf.
were no slices. There were no draws. There was just, I can play all these shots.
That's what's up.
So yesterday, it felt good. And then last one, it was a drive. You know, I always got to have a drive.
You got it, buddy.
6'4", you got to have the drive.
what driver you swinging with? What you swinging with?
Come on, man. You know what it is. I'm a tailor-made guy.
Okay.
Tailor-made.
Attaboy.
Tailor-made.
Yaga. How long that go? That had to go 200. That had to go 270.
Someone's
All
in
right.
the fairway.
All right,
Someone's in the fairway.
enough of that. At the end of the day, I just want to take you guys on a journey. It's fun. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, they weren't lying. These things do work. Like this.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, Ricky, it's stages. The stage that was at yesterday, that's the very first time that I feel like I hit a golf shot and actually meant to do it.
Yeah, I told you that's how I've been now getting in my journey to where I keep my head down and I'm still shocked when everybody pointing up like, oh, your ball is actually up there. And I'm like, oh, it is? Like I'm actually get to that point to where it's like I know what I'm doing, so I'm not paying attention to the ball that much. I'm not paying attention to everything else. I'm just executing my shot. That's great, man. That's inspiring.
Go
I gotta
ahead,
go
Pete.
golfing.
I was going to say, man, you know, I was a caddy for 9 years, which meant I played a lot of golf, and I haven't played in a long time. But when I was done, Bray, I was a 14 or a 13 handicap.
Ooh.
Keeping your head down, you know, it's kind of like a pendulum, man. And I'm not going to go through the golf thing. It's the hardest freaking thing to do, man. If you can't keep your head straight and your head down, your shot's going to flail one way or another, man. Regardless of the hips, it's that one motion, and when you get everything in one motion like a pendulum, you're going to be hitting
You know
well.
what, Pete? I'm feeling inspired. Anson, I'm inspired by you and what you do, how you bring everything in. You bring the crowd in. You bring the audience in with the engagement, with the audibles, the collectibles.
There you go.
Who in this chat likes to golf?
There you go.
Who in this chat enjoys golf? I tell you what.
Uh-oh.
This is how we're going to do this. I got to give my shoulders
I
right.
like this. I like this.
I got to
I
loosen
think
them
I know
up.
what's coming.
I got to
like
loosen
this
them
already.
up. Just for today.
Uh-oh.
Just for today. Today only. Today is special. I feel it today. I won't feel it tomorrow. I won't feel it Thursday. I feel it right now. Get the wheel going.
The wheel is going,
We're going to get the wheel going. I need a separate wheel for this one.
Oh, you want?
Oh,
I need
you
a
put
separate
Pete to
wheel
work.
for this one.
Oh.
Top three. Top three. At the end of the show, we're going to go golf by August. Top three.
No, top two. I want to play.
You say you. That
I
is,
said, hold on.
all right. Who here golfs? I know Ryan and Maz don't golf. I know you
I do.
golf.
I'll get out there.
I mean, I don't really want to talk about it, but we owned a golf course for like 20 years.
Oh, let's do it. No, talk about it. That's what's up.
So the top individual today, round the golf's on me, and you get to play with
What
me,
seats you wanna play?
Ricky, as well as Anson Wells. That's what's on the docket
Oh, my
today.
goodness sakes.
That's what's on the docket today. We will go out. It will be a nice course, and we will have a good time. Ricky's in, Anson's in, and so am I. Ladies and gentlemen, start the show. Tigers yesterday.
Bring your A game,
Bring your
people,
A game.
For real.
So does that mean
I
Anson?
wanna- I gotta-
Anson A,
oh, I
Anson
can-
A game, Anson. There
Now
we
I'm so
go.
excited to golf with Anson. I can only imagine how much he
gonna be
talks.
fun.
I love golfing people who are
Yeah.
really, really good. I love it.
Oh, I'm not really, really good. I'm just really good time on the golf
Okay,
course.
even better. Even better.
Since I'm not a ball golf guy, you guys want to go frisbee golfing. Now
See, I've
I
never
can talk
done that.
about being very good.
My
All right.
neighbor does that. I want to try it.
Pete,
It's
let me
great.
get you in on this. Look, the Astros,
Sure, buddy.
they beat the Tigers yesterday. Like we
Yes.
said, Jose Altuve had a home run, as well as they had 2 home runs in that game.
Oh,
But anyway,
yeah, I got it. Go
doesn't matter. 8-5. I want to ask you, Flaherty takes a loss.
Yes, sir.
We'll start there. 2 home runs were hit by Reese Olson. Oh, shoot. Riley Green had 2 home runs in that game. They lost. Is what it is. Still the best record in the American League. Pete?
Yes, sir.
The Tigers are 18-11. They lose a game. How does it feel now that your team is in a situation when they lose games, it doesn't matter because you still understand who they are?
Because that's what progression from youth and a core does for your team, man. And again, that goes back to what my love for A.J. Hinch and how good he's done. By the way, you're talking about Riley Green yesterday with those two knockers. The team has been playing. I mean, you were a professional athlete, quite obviously. You understand what it takes to make the next level and things like that. And Braylon, those guys, as you can see, Braylon, they're playing like a unit. They're playing for themselves. They're feeling good. They're playing good. It is April. I understand that. But the A.J. Hinch leadership and the coaching staff that has helped develop the players, the pitching staff which has been put together, Jack Flaherty coming back is huge. The development of all the other younger players, Casey Mize is doing well. It's so much fun to watch the maturation of the core group, which I honestly was not too confident in to start the season, but they've done very well. And not only do they have to finish April strong here, now they got to carry it over month by month by month, and it is good, Bray, to have that buffer zone and to take a loss every once in a while that you can afford to absorb.
5-2 in the last 7. 5-2 in the last 7 games. That's why we're not tripping about the Detroit Tigers. Anson, I come to you. It's a team that we necessarily didn't believe in to start the season. It's fair to say. Glad you said that, Pete. But here we are. You see the playoff run last year. You see the experience that they gained, the run that they gained. With that being said, this is who they are. They're true to form. This is the team. There's no mistaking about it. What do they need to do before the trade deadline? Because now we're clearly buyers. And I know it's a long time from now, but big picture stuff. What do they need to do at the trade deadline, in your opinion?
It's a great question because they are going to be buyers.
Yeah.
And they've got a whole lot of nice, shiny objects down in the minors to be able to deal. To me, I want to see this team get a little bit healthy. I'd like to see what Vierling means to this team. I'd like to see what Parker means to this team. In the offseason, we loved our pitching chaos. Shout out to Hinch. I mean, the management of this team got so much more last year than what I felt the roster could provide. And he's off running early this year. This is a team that's historically gotten off to bad starts for the last decade. That's not the case this year. And it was the extra rotational arms that they needed. But you re-sign Flaherty, but then you get Casey Mize, like you talked about, playing how we had hoped he would play when we drafted him 4 or 5 years ago. You have Jackson Jobe contributing earlier than you would. I can't give you a straight answer, Bray, because I don't quite know what we're lacking. We thought it was power. Now we got Torkelson hitting with power. Thought it was Javi. Javi's playing 300 ball. Mm-hmm. So I can't give you a specific answer right now. I think that as we get healthier, maybe deal with some injuries and we start getting into June and closer to July, I think that answer will become a lot clearer. Short answer, if I had to give one right now, it's another power bat.
Pete, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
To start the season, Riley Green, that was a big question mark. Trying to figure out what was Riley Green at. He was struggling. A lot of offers. Well, now, this is just the last 5 games. Last night, he had 2 hits, 2 home runs being that. The night before that, he had 0, but then there was a hit, and there was 2 hits. So it seems like he's finding the ball. It seems like he's finding the Riley Green that we come to learn last year.
That's absolutely correct. If we remember what Ryan Ermanni said, who's that 30-30 guy for the Tigers? The Tigers, if they're going to win the World Series, they need to be that they need to have at least 2 30-30 guys. Now we know who it is. It's Riley Green and it's Spencer Torkelson. If they can pick another one up at the trade deadline, then boom, checkmate. Let's go to the playoffs and let's have fun and let's win some freaking games and some series, because that's exactly what they're going to do. Now, I know at the beginning of the season, a lot of people made fun of Maz and I were saying, like, bring in Vladimir Guerrero, but that's the kind of guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And Anson, we talked about that type of guy being a good number 2 for the Pistons on the post-game show, which we will get into when we talk about the Pistons later on, but that's what I mean for the Tigers. They need to bring in a guy that's up on the wall of kids' bedrooms.
We don't have that, do we?
That poster guy.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I don't think we do currently.
No, we don't
it was
have
Riley
it.
Green.
No, we don't have it.
Not
I'm saying
quite
they
yet.
need it. They absolutely need that, and that's the step you take. When you make that step, See you in the playoffs, baby. We're going to be hoisting a trophy.
I appreciate that correlation there. You're talking about that second player. The Pistons will get to that. We know they need a second player, and the Tigers, that is the thing that you're waiting for. 29 games into this Tiger season. Where are you at, Ricky?
I agree with what Pete just said. That's why I was watching the game yesterday. One, I think it was that ballpark that they were hitting, that Astros were just hitting everything in that little bitty ballpark. That was crazy. Crazy on top of the wall. That was that ballpark. But I was thinking that, I'm like, we need someone who can just make one big play like we used to have, like Cabrera, who could just come up and knock it out the park when we need it. That's all I was thinking yesterday. Like, man, we need one more person that in the clutch can just make that play. So I agree with Pete. But watching that game, I'm not even nervous. Like, that loss didn't even feel like a loss. It didn't even feel that bad. I feel like it's like, all right, well, whatever. We still doing good. I still look at the Tigers exactly the same.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's the one thing about having 168 games. There will be losses. Right. It's just about limiting them. They play again tonight. You know, we can put a ball on the Tigers. I know everybody's excited to talk about the Pistons. I know Anson's excited to talk about Shedeur. We didn't get a chance to unpack that with him yet. I actually have some more to say on that. It's a great, healthy conversation. But just getting back to it tonight, Reese Olson takes the mound. He's part of this he's part of this pitching staff, the Detroit Tigers. 6 guys under 3 ERA. Yeah, I don't know if Jack's still under there. So 6 guys, 100%. So 6 guys under 3 ERA. What do you want to see tonight? They lost last night. What would you like to see tonight out of Reese Olson and the Tigers?
I don't even worry about the pitching.
Talk to me.
Obviously, they rang up 8 runs last night. I think Houston brought around, but we haven't seen those big explosive games out of opponents' offense. I want to see the consistency of Riley Green, who has been playing better. But as we just talked about, that's our poster guy on this team. Some people thought it was Torque, and maybe he's on his way to being that. But Riley Green has been the pulse of this team for a couple of seasons now. The fact that we're playing this well with him struggling, I think that's that next piece that falls into place that really makes this team untouchable in the Central. And they already look pretty untouchable in the Central. Cleveland's just not the same team they were last year.
That's true. Can I make one other thing, too?
Please.
What you're saying about the struggle, it's how they struggle, too. Winning teams struggle a certain way. They unscrew their, when their head's screwed on wrong, they find a way to screw it back in correctly. So Braylon, as you know, being part of championship teams and being part of, non-championship teams or what it takes, it's how these teams are going to struggle through the 162 season. And let's see how the Tigers respond from a 3-game losing streak, and that's going to be key.
Pete, you're absolutely correct. But I would say this: I was a part of the second more than the first.
I hear you. I wasn't trying to insult you.
No, I like it. But no, you're absolutely right. How often and I was going to say Maz's name, that's why I called you that. How often do we hear Maz sit here and complain about the Yankees year after year after year? But year after year after year, what are the Yankees? The Yankees like 20 games above first place.
Sure.
Or 20 games above 500, 18 games, 14 games, whatever. Good teams, they do lose, they do struggle, but great point. They struggle in certain ways, and they find themselves ways to get out of it. So you're right, and that's who the Tigers have become. So I expect to win. They have not lost a series since the opening series of the season, which is
crazy.
Los Angeles Dodgers in L.A. They haven't lost one yet. So and also, you know what they haven't lost, with the exception of that series? Haven't lost their first game.
Oh, wow.
In the series until yesterday.
Yeah, right.
Yesterday.
That's crazy.
Yesterday was the
Could
first
you
one.
imagine trying to make your living in the NL West?
No.
Oh,
I mean, you got 5 teams, I believe, in all of MLB that are above 600, us being one of them, and 3 of them are in the NL West. So when you look at that early series, they hung in that series every game, and they didn't hang their hats and hang their heads over that because they knew what this team was. And to see them come back and bounce back after a loss to that. I know it's the World Series champs, but a lot of young teams are going to go into that series, lose 0-3, and that's going to continue on in the next series. But they put that so far behind them, and they're coming out and striking fear. They're intimidating to play right now. Like in Dynasty, I'm not starting any pitchers against the Tigers. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Fair enough. Love the Tigers. That was a perfect segue. Speaking of bouncing back, can your Detroit Pistons, can they bounce back after another game in which they should have won? Now, this is how I want to start the conversation, because I know you haven't had a chance to jump into this. This is from Lee Beasley, 1st to 4, not 3. Appreciate that energy, and that's what we want to see. And actually, I really appreciate that energy, because tonight, the Pistons, I need you to play with that energy that you're mad about that call.
Yeah.
Play with that energy that you're mad about that call. Don't say it to us. Don't say it to the city. Don't let our words just reverberate to each other.
Right.
You're mad, we're
Echo
mad,
chamber.
we're mad together. Use that. Somebody told me today, harness my frustrations or harness my anger. You're absolutely correct. I want them to harness their frustration into the game tonight. But with that being said, the foul first, and then can they respond? Talk about the foul. That was the end of game 4.
Just want to say, Anson, just to let you know, I didn't watch the game for that foul, but I saw the highlight. You were the first person I thought of. I'm like, oh, Anson broke his TV. He had to.
We were here.
So we'll let you take a second, collect your thoughts. Talk about the foul, and then the second question is, how do they win game 5 after everything has transpired so far, including the foul? Foul first.
Well, the foul, listen, when you have what, to me, was an over and back violation to finish game 3, you would think and hope that a call like that at the end of a game on your own floor again would be made. We know that Brunson would have gotten that call. When I watched it in full speed, I felt that it was a foul, but I could see why maybe they don't call it, because nobody wants to see a game ended on free throws. But when you add in the game beforehand, and then you look at what happened there, especially in the review when you slow it down, and then on top of it, you got Tim Hardaway. He doesn't airball threes. I would have loved to have seen the NBA have the balls to make that call. They should have. Now, to answer your other question, it's the question that's on everyone's minds right now, and that is.
Well, that's it. So there's no outrage. You're past it. There was no outrage.
Should it have been called?
Yeah.
Yes. My outrage is more over the fact that you'd think you come back home and you get a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. I didn't see the benefit of the doubt. I saw a loosely called series where they've been allowing it to be very, very physical. I have a bigger problem with JB Bickerstaff right now. These people want to talk about Cade has to be better.
Yes.
Cade's been historically good for a guy in his first playoffs. JB, we talked about this. I said it before the series started. The key to victory for the Pistons is outlasting this Knicks team. And we're basically utilizing our bench the same way that they're utilizing theirs. But we're 11 deep, and we're not using those guys.
Right.
Like, we got a goon from Italy named Fontecchio. Throw him out there. Give me 4 rebounds and 4 hard fouls. JB allows run after run after run to go. I'm not sure he knows what timeouts are actually for. So there's a lot of guys that want to blame this on the call. They want to blame it on Cade needs to be better. There's a lot of things that need to be better with this team, and it starts with the youth. And that is why these guys had 4 games they could have finished, and they only finished 1. But your question, the root question is, can these guys come out and overcome that emotional loss? It's the question that everybody in Detroit has on their minds, and it's the question that the NBA has on their minds, because everybody is starting to recognize this Pistons team.
3 emotional losses.
Oh, yes.
The last one just happened to be at one everybody saw. Those 2 meltdowns.
21-0?
Right.
There we go.
That's emotional.
Yeah, there we go.
That's emotional.
Tap into that.
And each one of those 3 the 2 losses, we've watched them come back and respond and not seem like a young team that is emotionally beaten. I am so intrigued to see what team comes out tonight. And again, the Kool-Aid, it runs deep in my veins for the Pistons, but I believe that there's 3 things that are factoring for them. I don't think that there's a snowball's chance in Hades that Isaiah Stewart misses this game.
Yeah.
There's no way that he's going to end his season on the bench
I want to
possibly.
ask about these
2, the NBA has been alerted. And if you think that there hasn't been a conversation between the NBA higher-ups and their referee crew that's going to be in New York tonight, well, then you're not a conspiracy theorist like me. But the third thing is I just think that this team is young and dumb enough to not care about what happened. And, in fact, I think that they're going to be pissed off. And they're going to come out there and they're going to run the way that they have, and it's going to come down to stupid mistakes and turnovers. Can they eliminate those? I think the Pistons win in MSG tonight, and honestly, I'm a little more worried about whether they can win a game on their home floor than if they can go back for Game 7 and win, because we've proven that we can play with them in New York. We've proven that we can win in New York. We've proven that we have great fans here at LCA, but something's off, And I think that it will be righted tonight. And the Pistons will still have life on Thursday. Tonight is going to be a tight game, but I do believe that we are going to see this Pistons team come out and fight and not just shrink in a hole. Hey, we got cheated. We're young. We'll chalk it up to inexperience, and we'll be back next year. I don't believe that that's the makeup of this team. This is Bad Boys 3.0. They're emotionally strong. They have fought through all this BS that we've seen, and I think that you see a focused, not a youthful team come out there. They're going to be a focused and energetic team.
Yeah, I definitely think they'll be focused and energetic.
Thank you for letting me talk there. I've been waiting all damn weekend for that.
No, go ahead.
No, that was
You
a good
deserve
one.
it.
I
You handled
feel
that well.
You're one of the best. You're one of the best fans that the Detroit fan base has
Appreciate
to offer.
you.
You deserve your time, and you're good at your job, so you deserve the right to do that. No,
Appreciate
you're
you.
absolutely correct. We're going to see what this team is made of. It's interesting that I actually don't fear for them on the road.
I don't either.
Yeah, right.
They
You
won
shouldn't.
on the road. They won in
Right.
MSG. When you're home and you're in the new space, see, I never had to play a playoff game at home. So I'm speaking from experience. Like, I never played. Like, we were never the home team. Like, I always played on the road. Playing on the road is different. Our fans, this was not our arena. This is not our fan base. It's not everybody just in this thing. You're not worried about everything. It's easier on the road. So 100%. Pete,
Yes.
Ricky, can the Pistons win tonight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do the Pistons win?
But yes,
tonight?
my number one factor is what you just said. Not only did they win on the road,
Yeah.
they won at MSG. Of all places,
This is
in a
true.
playoff
It's-
game. The
it's
first
the
playoff
Mecca.
game ever for most of them. I mean, I'm pretty sure probably 90% of the team never been in the playoffs for the Pistons. Anson, I know you know.
You got
You got
Schroeder.
you got 4 guys on there.
You got 4
that's
guys.
it.
Yep.
Shooter,
four-
Beasley, Tobias, and
Yeah.
Hardaway.
So, okay, so about half the team has never been like that's what I think. Yeah, they can do it, and hopefully they go in with that fire in their belly from that call or whatever made them mad. Not even just a call, whatever made them mad in the last game. I think they need to just use that, and yeah, we can win. We should win.
Pete, different question for you.
Yes.
Do they call that foul if it's not Tim Hardaway Jr.? Hey,
Yeah.
if it's Cade Cunningham, is that foul called?
No,
No.
because that's a Piston. But if it's a superstar, yeah, that fall's called on a different superstar. But on a Piston, no. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Since I was a young kid with hair, the national media has not given 2 hoots about the Pistons, and I guarantee you that the National Basketball Association doesn't give the 2 hoots either on what has happened with the Pistons. But can I answer also
Yeah,
the
go ahead,
first
go ahead.
question on that one there, Braylon?
Appreciate that, Rick. You know what we're
You
going to
know
do?
what?
Take your time. We're going to go another 5 minutes.
You got it,
so
and then
we
we'll
can
do
get
the
through the
break.
rest of the basketball stuff, and then we can come to the Lions because I know you guys are ready to talk about the Detroit Lions.
No.
So let's finish
Got
up the
it.
basketball
Yeah,
stuff.
so
Go ahead,
anyway,
Pete.
so what I was also going to say on top of that is the reason why the Pistons can win on the road tonight and should win on the road tonight is because they've been playing like the road team all series long, and that includes the home games here. You could tell. I said it during the watch party for Game 4 with Anson and Stick. And by the way, Anson, what a thrill it was to watch a basketball game with you because you watched like a coach, and I learned so much from you, and you really are a thrill to watch a basketball game with.
Appreciate
But
you.
anyway,
It's
they
Anson-
look like
National Anson Day.
it is National Anthem. But anyway, they look like 2 YMCA teams playing in that game. It was a slop fest, and all I'm saying is that their Pistons don't seem to be comfortable at home yet. It's new to them, so they've been playing like a road team all season long. They will win on the road because it's no problem.
Very fair. I do think they win on the road tonight. The only problem is I don't think they'll have anything left for the next 2 games. We've seen the Pistons in this situation before. They did it in the finals in 2006 where they should have won Game 5. They didn't. They came out, gave everything in Game 6, and then we know what happened in Game 7 in San Antonio. Not the same team, but I think it's the same energy.
You know
They're
what
going
happened
to-
in Game 7?
100%.
All of our big men were on the bench with fouls.
It's-
9-point lead with 7. I was at that game, Game 7 in San
My
Antonio.
apologies. I didn't mean to get you riled up.
There are
But
certain
here-
moments in the Pistons lore that I just know exactly where I was. I can channel that exact same feeling.
There's no
Underneath-
Game 7. There's no Game
Bud
7.
steals the ball.
There's no Game 7 if not for Game 5.
You know, everybody gets so upset about that
That's why I
one.
set you up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely needs to defend that. But I'm going to go back to the beginning of the year. And Larry Brown did a little favor for his buddy from Syracuse, Derek Coleman. Guess who he traded for Derek Coleman?
Yeah.
Our 6th damn man,
Sixth damn
Corliss
man.
Williamson.
Yep.
The one guy,
Scoreless.
aside from
Scoreless.
Ben, the guy that really mixed it up, you know, when he came off the bench and like,
But you know why, though? Guess who his coach was? Nolan Richardson. 90 feet of hell. Arkansas Razorbacks.
90 feet of hell.
Only reason why Michigan lost that game was because of Bill Clinton.
Hey, oh, that's true. That's
feet of
right.
hell.
He didn't even go to Arkansas, but that's neither here nor there.
No, but he was on the floor.
No,
on
he
the
was.
floor.
No, 100%. Check this out.
That's good.
We understand that Jimmy Butler got traded from the Miami Heat, and we understand Andrew Wiggins just hasn't been Andrew Wiggins since they luckily won that championship in 2022. 100% super lucky championship. Do you realize he was a starter in the All-Star game that year?
A starter?
Look it up. Look it up. He
Tell
started.
me somebody got injured
He
ahead of him.
started that year.
Please tell me somebody got
He
injured ahead
started that year.
of him. Right, too.
He started that
injured.
year. Wow. Now I don't know if he started, but I know he played in that All-Star. He made it.
I don't know.
He was there.
With that being said,
Cap.
Miami Heat was outscored by 122 points in this series. It was over from the word go. 2
That's
50-point
crazy.
losses in this series. It is what it is, man. So it's really nothing to talk about. But are you a believer in the Cavs? That's the question from this. Are you a firm believer in this Cavs team who had the #1 record in the East? Because at the end of the season, OKC beat them. But do you trust this team? Because as good as their record is, as good as Donovan Mitchell is, you telling me Evan Mobley, he's the defensive player of the year, and Darius Garland, he's finally found his game, and the coach, he should be J.B. Bickerstaff. BS. Like, people don't trust them.
Listen, the great barrier thief was robbed of the defensive player of the year, first and foremost. You don't set those kind of steal numbers, records, and not get it. It's a great question again. I thoroughly believe that the NBA requires stepping stones. I think that OKC and Cleveland probably have a better roster than the Celtics, and they certainly have a better future than the Celtics, but I have such a hard time getting away from the Celtics repeating this year out of experience, out of what the NBA favors. The NBA favors championships ending up in Boston or LA. And I just don't know if their youth understands how to get past a defending champion Celtics team in the Eastern Conference Finals. I love their roster. I'm hoping that they beat up on Indiana so badly that Miles Turner knows his future's not there. It's somewhere else in the Midwest, here in Detroit. But no, I don't think that they can get by Boston. I honestly hate Cleveland more than I hate Boston, which is shocking because I hate the Celtics. Maybe it's the Celtic City that I've been watching lately, but I just don't like seeing teams come out of nowhere and just ascend. So I would love to see them lose, and I do think they are going to lose purely out of inexperience.
All right, rapid fire. We'll finish this. We'll take a break here from Dr. Pierce, and then we'll get back into some Detroit Lions. Here you go. Pete.
Yes.
Dubs beat Rockets. Do the Dubs win the series?
Dubs win the series.
Dubs, so they outlast. All right, Ricky, here you go. Pacers, they host the Bucks. Is that series over, and is Damian Lillard's career potentially over?
Oh, well, I can't say too much about that series. I haven't been watching, but Damian Lillard. I think he's just one of the ones that's just caught up in that. That era is just over, man. It's just time.
I also think that Giannis may not be a Milwaukee Buck for too much longer. Last
Uh-oh.
question belongs to you. Clippers, Nuggets, 3-1. We know Jokic is the best player in the league.
2-2.
Excuse me, 2-2. What do they do?
Jokic is winning that series. He's just unstoppable. I still don't know how the Clippers made the playoffs, and I still don't know how they won 2 games in that series. But
because of James Harden, man, he's all NBA this year. Kawhi Leonard.
I was gonna say it's not because of Kawhi.
Zubac.
Let's go. He's been a player, but no, I think it's Joker. I think he gets out of the first round.
Has Paolo Banchero showed you in this playoffs this year, even though losing, that he is something to be reckoned with for the future?
MVP candidate going forward.
I agree.
Baby.
We'll hear a message right now. Dr. Jeff Pierce.
Yes.
Yeah, I just went to Pierce the other day.
Oh, you did?
No, I didn't. I was mad.
You up here telling
I was being mad. My elbow's fine.
How's your arm,
You got that tennis elbow?
Nah, it's good. Dr. Pierce took care of me. Attention sports fans. Don't miss out on our expert sports injury insight with Dr. Pierce. You know, he joins us Tuesdays on Big D Energy and right here on Ermanni Edwards on Thursdays, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that D-Mac and Maz trust. Dr. Pierce is here to keep you in your game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportandSpine.com or call him at 248-426-9944. He'll be here Thursday. We'll be right back.
Call him. Good stuff.
The
Good
boys
stuff.
of
Everybody, great
summer
stuff.
are
And
ready to get back to the
I'll set you
playoffs,
up.
and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone. Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
It's time to get in shape. The weather's beautiful. When you get in shape, you feel good, man. I feel good at working out on Planet Fitness. When the gyms are clean, squeaky clean, I feel good. Gets my day started off the right way. And it's over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations. So all these, there's one right next to you. I guarantee it. The people are great. The service is good. And guess what? They treat you right. They have a trainer with every membership that you can get. And there's no judgment. And the fitness, it fits into your budget. So look, they're not trying to hit you over the head in the prices. And you can get in shape. You got to remember, at Planet Fitness, your fitness is essential. I really believe that. Fitness is essential.
Use it or lose it.
I'm not blowing smoke. I am not blowing smoke. I believe fitness is essential. So get yourself to Planet Fitness. The price point is right. When we go off, I want to see you looking good, feeling good. All right, here we go. Detroit Lions.
Sir.
How are you with the draft this past weekend? Because as every Brad Holmes draft, much is made about it, where he went wrong, where he shouldn't have did this, and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he has an impeccable record and resume as it relates to that. Here's another draft where some pundits have ranked them C+, C-, the bottom of the draft. One of the ones that Maz sent in, most valuable 2020 NFL draft classes, had him ranked second from last. Where are you with the Lions draft and Brad Holmes? The fifth draft he's had.
Been waiting all weekend to answer this question.
I know you have.
Pete, I sent you an email just a moment ago.
I have it, sir.
Okay, bring that up in a moment here.
I'll wait
I
for
want
you.
to add a little caveat to what I've been saying for a few years now, and that is that Dan and Brad have a list of guys that they see as elite. It's not just that. They have a short list of guys that they will allow to be Detroit Lions. And they don't care where they get them.
Yeah.
Because Christian Mahogany should have been a fourth-round pick last year, but he went in the 6th. And that makes taking Manu in the 3rd a lot more palatable. If you look at where we got our guys around in this draft, they got the guys that they wanted. You might have wanted them to take somebody else in the 3rd, but you got the receiver that they wanted. That you might have been able to wait for the 5th for, but they don't care because there's something that happened with this franchise a few years ago that nobody takes enough account. They just don't realize that this is what happened. Chris Spielman came in with the Fords, and before Dan and Brad was ever hired, they said only one thing matters here, and that is the culture that we are about to build. So no, this team doesn't draft to fill holes. They don't draft because somebody's high on Mel Kiper's list. They identify targets, and then they have them come in here for interviews, and then they go out and they do whatever they can to get them. Now, there's a PFF ranking. All the pundits, I don't really care. When it comes down to analyzing football players and success, no one does it better in the game than PFF, in my opinion. When it comes down to Moneyball for football, they are the best. And you want to throw this graphic up here? Let's look at real value.
I'll try to zoom in as best I can.
The team in fourth at the bottom there with a plus, you see, is the Detroit Lions. Got the fourth most value out of this draft. So you can listen to the pundits, you can go to Twitter, but year in and year out, this team drafts guys that don't only play, but develop into players. And they did that again today, over the weekend. Ahmed Hassanen, you guys are going to absolutely love that kid.
Dearborn
He's
will
going to
love
make
him.
you forget all of your desperate need for an edge rusher.
Yeah, no, and we saw him out of Boise State, saw him play against Penn State. He had a sack and a half, and you could see the get off the ball. Penn State is usually known for having good offensive linemen, good systems. So the fact that he did have success, you can kind of cancel the notion of, well, it's the competition. No, he played against Penn State, and when he played against Penn State, he did show up. So I am excited to see what that could be.
And there's some other weird guys that they took.
Yes.
There are some other weird guys, not weird, but there are some interesting situations.
Weird where they were taken and 100%, how they got.
And I want to ask you about that. Isaac T-Slaw, you saw what they did. They moved up to draft a player that was rated 149 on a lot of boards. And once again, it's not about where they were rated on other boards or where they were in a Lions board, but they moved up 2 picks. I want you to explain for the people out there, how did that pick go? Because a lot of people are saying, third rounder, garnered 2 picks. I'm like, not necessarily working like that. Explain how this trade went.
When does the NFL draft stop being conducted?
Saturday.
No. I mean, when do they stop having a draft? Is it next year?
Oh,
is it 100 years from now?
Yeah,
because you can trade next year's third rounder every damn year.
Yeah.
And that's what we continue to do.
Yeah.
And you can do that. When I see T-Slaw, looks like a young Tim Patrick without all the health issues. And then I went on YouTube and I found some interviews with him. I watched him riding in a car with a young reporter. This kid's a lion. So you look at, hey, there's guys like Jaden Higgins, and, you could move some of these picks around. We could have gotten this guy there, and then we could have gotten this guy there instead. But you're just discounting the fact that these two, Dan and Brad, they identify guys that fit this culture, and then they go get them. This T-Slaw kid is a Detroit Lion culturally. But his on-the-field play, he's only gotten better and better, jump levels, and he truly fits the need that the Lions didn't have last year and why they went out and got Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick's in his 30s. He's got major injuries, and he was an awesome player. But in terms of getting downfield and blocking and laying the wood, because this kid blocks, but he's also a Raz freak. He's a high point guy.
There it is, the Raz.
The Raz is there. And realistically, you don't have to ask this guy to be anything but a 4 or 5 option on this team and a gunner on special teams for his first 2 years. But this is JMO insurance just as much as it is Tim Patrick insurance, because after Tim's gone, after this year, next year he can do the things that Tim did. The year after that, again, I'm not going to say that he has the high-end speed that JMO does, but he's still a sub 4.4 guy with a big body. And by year 3, when we really need this kid, I think everybody in Detroit's going to absolutely love him.
Yeah, no, this side, JMO does run 4.2, but it's differences. Like the size that he has, the blocking. Also, he doesn't drop the ball. He's a hands-catching wide receiver. We knew when JMO first came. So it's not about him versus JMO, but he's a dynamic wide receiver, and you add all the things. I'm excited to kind of see what it is. I didn't get a chance to watch him in college, but like you, I watch film. When you watch, one of the things that I watch for wide receivers, especially big wide receivers, is where you catch the ball. His catch radius is magnificent. Also, he catches with one hand. Catches with 2 hands, but he's always catching the ball the right way. When he's catching with one hand, he's catching the corner. He's catching the back of the football. When he's catching it up top, it's like the clock. I appreciate values and things like that. So excited to see what he is. But yet again, it's the, this guy. And I'm glad you pointed out. The Lions are only looking for their guys, not this guy.
How do you like me comping him to Puka Nacua?
I think it's fair.
Interesting.
We didn't know what Puka Nacua was going to be out of BYU. You know, we'd be lying if we said Puka was going to be what he was, that he would have 1,400 yards in his rookie season and go for 189 in Ford Field as a rookie.
Inspire a team to trade a record-setting Cooper Kupp.
100% out of BYU. So it is very similar. And I think once you see something, once you see it, it's like, it can be done. Oh, maybe this is what it is. You saw this player have that type of success. Who's to say a person that doesn't get it right in the draft and Brad Holmes, who's to say he didn't see the same thing that Les Snead saw when he saw Puka Nacua, and they bought him there. So, Pete, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say also, well, you can add into that, I mean, what about John Morton and Kelvin Shepard? I mean, how much do they go into the decision-making regarding the players of who they want, because they're the ones running the system? Yeah, it's Dan Campbell's, overall umbrella, but they're the ones calling the shots like the conductor. Well, so, I mean, I think that really does matter that the Lions have to fit their offensive coordinator schemes to make sure the whole system operates correct.
No, I agree with you. What the Lions are doing, Pete, is how Brad Holmes picks his guys. This is a Brad Holmes guy. I'm gonna draft Jahmyr Gibbs. He's a Brad Holmes guy. I'm gonna get Sam Laporta. I'm gonna get Jack Campbell. These are Dan Campbell guys. What the coach says in J-Mo's not going to come in and tell you, hey, look, this player right here, I need him.
Right.
Because he understands that Brad Holmes has a fix on the draft.
Okay.
He has an idea and what works for him. So he's not going to come in here and try to change the system. What he'll say is, I need a wide receiver that is 6'3" to 6'4",
okay, that
runs 4.4 to the high 4.3 to high 4.4,
okay,
that can catch with his hands. Like, so everything that T-Slaw is, that's what a coordinator will say to a Brad Holmes. This is what I need. And then now Brad Holmes, now his job is, okay, now let me go implement the Detroit Lions profile and find that guy.
Okay.
So that's how they work in conjunction. He's not going to tell him, go draft.
Right.
Blah,
he's
blah,
not going to
blah.
name a player.
I just
He's
need
gonna
this
be like,
player, and then Brad, it's up to you to go
Gotcha.
find that type of player that fits the aesthetic for what the Lions now are.
Yeah. And realistically, when you have coaches like that coming up to you telling draft this guy, that's when you get some problems. And I in terms of that kind of an issue, we're going to talk a little bit more about it when we get to Shedeur Sanders.
You know, we keep talking so much about Brad Holmes. Why don't we listen to the man himself? Here's Brad Holmes talking about the Lions. They just keep getting better.
It's an ongoing, nonstop, relentless climb for just building a roster in general. So it's not a position that's off limits. We're always trying to look to get better. Sometimes there's not better out there past maybe the current starters you have. Maybe there's not better available versus the current depth you have. But we're always trying to look for better. And I definitely would not be doing my job if I did not continually look at every single avenue, and which we'll continue to do for sure.
I'm gonna pull a Ryan Ermanni. Okay, this will be a shout out to Ryan. What's going on? Hope everything is good with you and the family. What I heard when I heard this, what I paid attention to when I heard this, is the same thing that he's been trying to tell us during the season, as soon as the season's over, last year after the draft. We're good. We are good. Mm-hmm. We have drafted the players that we want. We have gone after the players we want in free agency. Over the last 4 years, soon to be 5, we have built the foundation for a Super Bowl winning team and a team that can have success for some years. So when he's in the draft and he's telling you, he said, look, we looked. He said, but we got a lot of dogs on this team. Yeah, right. We got a lot of guys on this team that are going to have to get paid, or that we believe in, or that now this is their second year and they're going to have success, or this is their third year, and now they're going to have success. Not to mention you're getting players back from injury that are guys that are going to be on the roster for the first time. So he's like, yeah, we looked, and, where we could make some adjustments, where we could add some people, we did. But we good over here.
Good. Lions fans that were confident this team was going to win the Super Bowl after the Week 18 drubbing of the Vikings, if you've lost faith at any point in this offseason, take solace in the fact that the roster as it stands today is so much better than the roster that was entering the playoffs, and even better than the roster we started the season with last year. We are better, and we were a 15-2 win team last year. It comes down to execution in the playoffs. I am very curious to see what this new look offense is going to look like. I know everybody thinks that they've got the wizard down there in Chicago, but if you recall, this was one of the leading offenses in the league when Dan Campbell was making the play calls. So I am curious to see what kind of changes we have defensively and offensively with new DC and OC here. But in terms of personnel, yeah, Bray, we good.
Yeah, and I definitely think we're coming to an age where I believe in what this man is saying. We talked about seeing is believing. Well, 15-2 and what they've done.
You know where we're not good though?
Where are we not?
We are not good in the super chat. Michael Wary is the only guy that got the memo. Michael Wary with the first super chat. Bray, I had the same issue. Taylor made all day, baby.
Hey, what? Tell me about it, man. That's Sim 2. Sim 2 is what brought me to TaylorMade. Well, the R7 is what brought me to TaylorMade. Sim 2 brought me back home. So, yeah, 100%. Shout out. Appreciate it.
I want to catch everybody up in the chat. We are giving away another huge giveaway today. My man Pete really helped us out. Brought in a bunch of awesome cards here. Brought in a pack of unopened tops for you. Of course, we got the Braylon Edwards rookie that he's going to get signed for you. But today's special because Bray doubled down. And obviously, all of you guys that contribute to get in on this giveaway, we're going to create that big wheel. But whoever the top three contributors are today, we're going to put you in a separate wheel so you can go golfing with Braylon Edwards, the most influential Wolverine athlete to come out of Ann Arbor this century.
This century.
You know, you guys are too kind. Too kind. But,
I'll remind him, Bray.
You know, every once in a while you do need to be reminded. You need to be reminded that you know what the hell you're doing. I think Brad Holmes knows what the hell he's doing. You know who else thinks Brad Holmes knows what he's doing? It's our good friend Ari Mayroff at my 33rd Up team. He thinks that you should listen to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell.
Let's all watch together.
So, yeah, the Lions were another one over here as we keep on going through my takeaways. And the reason this one was interesting for me because the Lions, we know how good they draft over the years. I mean, Brad Holmes has proven himself. Like, don't question me. Do not, right? Remember the Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta draft. Everyone was like, what are you guys doing? Everyone was giving them failing grades. Of course, those guys were all amazing. Their first, from their first three picks, there was Tyleik Williams at pick 28, Tate Radledge at 57, then Isaac Tesla at number 70. I want to look at two of those guys specifically. Tyleik Williams was not somebody who was talked about as a first-round pick.
Love it. Absolutely love it. High production, power school, wants to be here, came in for an interview and knocked it out of the park. Already had a hat waiting in his living room, and that was the only one he wanted to put on. That guy wants to be a Detroit Lion. He's a Midwest kid. I love that pick.
Appreciate that. Keep it going, Pete.
You got it, buddy. Hang on. Let me get it back, and we go.
He's an exceptional run stuffer, but the Lions taking him there, I found that to be very interesting because they clearly saw something with him where it was like, no, we're taking you in the first round. Again, it's very reminiscent to me when they took Jack Campbell, when they took Sam Laporta, when they took Jahmyr Gibbs, where everyone on the consensus board, I don't have the consensus board in front of me, but Tyleik was not a number 20, I'll tell you that much. He was nowhere close to that. So them taking him there, they clearly saw something, that scouting department, Brad Holmes in particular, Dan Campbell, where it's like, no, we're taking him here. The other one that was the most interesting to me was Isaac Tesla, the wide receiver out of Arkansas, round 3, pick 70. Consensus board, he was somewhere in the mid 100s, I would say. If I have to go get the exact number, but he was there. The reason it's so interesting to me because they aggressively traded up to get him. They gave up a third-round pick in this year's draft and 2 third-round picks in next year's draft to the Jaguars to make sure they get Isaac Tesla here in this draft. So that one in particular, I mean, they've been looking for a guy across from Amon-Ra St. Brown for the last couple of years, I would say. Like, they've had guys. Josh Reynolds was there. They tried a few different people there. Tim Patrick last year. They saw something with Isaac Tesla. For them to go out there and trade 3 third-round picks, including 2 next year, to go up to number 7 in the third round to go and get him, I would be watching Isaac this entire rookie minicamp, into OTAs, into.
Go ahead, Bray.
If Isaac Tesla does 70% of what the Detroit Lions believe that they can do this year, is number 9 here next year?
It's really the question that's on a lot of people's minds, because seeing this kid taking where he was, seeing the capital that they gave up, this is not a kid that they see as just somebody that's going to maybe fit in. This is a piece of their future. And I think that you have to give yourself some insurance if you have to get out from underneath J-Mo.
Yeah.
Let's assume that he stays out of trouble this year.
Yeah.
But you look at the guys that they're re-signing, and you look at the championships that have been won around the league. You're not spending $50 million plus on 2 wide receivers and winning championships. I'm sure it's done. I'm sure we can go and find one. But this really gives them an out. This gives them an out, and it gives them an opportunity to trade J-Mo if this kid works out.
Fair enough, Pete.
Tell you what, man, if you're making that kind of a move, then I have no problem with it, because if you like what you like, then you like what you like, and you might as well be what you want to be. And I think that the Lions know that they want to get the ball spread around. It helps Jahmyr Gibbs if the ball is spread around. I think this is a small version of another weapon, if you will, for the Lions, and I think that that's how they're going to use Mr. Tesla, is as a weapon. He's going to be running the ball as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. And they want to lean heavily on the run. That's why you want them to bring him as a 6'3" guy. He's blocks, he's 235. They want to lean in on the run for the years to come. So I definitely can't see that. How about we do this?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a quick commercial break.
You got it, my
we
friend.
come back. There's more going on with the Pistons. With the Lions. Also, Kirby Joseph. Got to talk about Kirby Joseph today. I feel like we've negated him the last day and a half. So we'll get to Kirby Joseph. But now let's get a little message in from yesterday, Anson. I did not believe that $169 per month or $599 on a Hummer EV. Let me know how it's done, brother.
It's unbelievable, because Les Stanford, Buick, and GMC, not only they have great offers, but they have an unbelievable inventory. Get into that 2025 Envision Preferred all-wheel drive for only $259. And Braylon mentioned, for only $169, you can get yourself into a Sierra double cab elevation. That's right, only $169 a month. You can also step it up to that 2025 EV SUV Hummer for only $699 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out that massive inventory. Les Stanford, Buick, and GMC. LesStanford.com.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Gentlemen, we like it simple. We like the gimmies on the golf course. We like uncomplicated. Like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, sign in, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean, and that hair is did. Lady Jane's, they're open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Welcome back to the second hour of the show. Anson Wells, Ricky Burns, and Peace Pie back over here joining me. We were listening to the video. Ari Mayroff talking about trusting Brad Holmes just now. He was just talking about Talik Williams, and then he was breaking down Isaac T-Slaw. Getting back to the Talik thing, in terms of he saw why they wanted him, or he kind of saw, I see what they're looking at with him. The NFL is starting to go back to the game of running the football. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the running the football are stretch zone runs, they're RPO runs that all do what? They developed in the middle, and they go outside, and they end up kicking outside. What you saw with Talik Williams, his ability to move laterally.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest things. So when Ari said that, it popped in my head. I like that lateral ability because that's where the game is going. The Kyron Williams of the world, Saquon Barkley of the world. We got two of them on our team. That's where it's getting back to the running back. I think that's what they saw in him. And if that's what it is, I appreciate it because his lateral movement at 335 is only going to get better.
Yeah, and it's going to help tremendously with the run game. It's going to help tremendously with the screen game. But you mentioned something on Friday, and you were talking about what a great interior defensive line does for the production of your edges. Lions didn't take an edge rusher in the first, 5 rounds or something like that?
Right.
And everybody was worried about it, but the fact is this guy in the middle, who is going to be playing a lot for Aleem early on in the season because we won't have him. But this guy's going to make our edges better. He's going to make Marcus Davenport more effective. When the Lions announced that Z is coming back to Detroit, and that's going to happen, Z is going to be better because of this help inside. Seeing the interviews with this Talik kid, I don't care if he wasn't ranked 20 and he was closer to 40 and we took him at 28. He's a Dan and Brad guy. And these guys like Shamar Stewart that had 4.5 sackles in their sackles. They had 4.5 sackles. His entire time there. I think he had 10 tackles for loss. His entire college career. Give me production. Give me a power conference school. This kid is going to come in and be ready to play day one and contribute.
Something about Sackles just screams pause. I'm just saying.
Sackles.
It does.
It's something. It's in there.
There's something
Dude.
in there for sure.
I want that to spread.
Another thing, too, about this, and I know depth isn't what you want to hear in the first round, but it is the depth of this defensive line.
Which we didn't have.
And I'm glad you said that. Last year, getting into the playoffs, even in the middle of the season, to the end of the season, and in the playoffs, that defensive line was hampered all season long, and it started when the big fell. Well, it started when Davenport went down. You look at now, the defensive interior, just listen to these names. Speaking of depth, you got Lee McNeil when he comes back.
Tough.
You got DJ Reader, and you saw what he was in the run game last year without Aiden Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You got Le'Veon Enrique, who when his back is fine, he's a hell of a player.
Yes, sir.
Talik Williams, you just picked up from Ohio State. Roy Lopez, a filler from Arizona. We know he's not coming in to give you 5 sacks, but he's a filler. He's a body. And we saw how important bodies were last season. You got, Mekhi Wingo. LSU guy was a stud at LSU.
Should have been a third-round
pick.
pick.
Another guy that got injured for you last year. This is another body that you have, and you have Miles Adams. Like, you're deep now at the defensive tackle.
They bring back the Prophet, too? Muhammad Al-Qaeda?
DT4. I saved him last.
DT4, baby.
Al-Qadim.
Yeah, he'll be back. I think so. Now
he was a revelation. Out of all the no-name guys that they filled in all those open spots on the defensive line, he was a very pleasant surprise. But you just said it, man. All those names, would we have a quarter of them, 20% of them come playoff time? This team, they've invested into this defensive line the same way that we've seen them invest in the offensive line the entirety. They did it again in the draft, doubling down on offensive linemen. Game is won at the trenches. Even with all the passing that's going on, it's still won in the trenches. And now we finally have the personnel to match up with anybody in the trenches.
One of the big moves that they made in the second round was moving up for Tay Rowledge. They picked up a guard, and we knew that was a possibility. And we knew that they should, just looking at what this offensive line has been, ages, guys moving around. How do you feel about this guy? Because one thing that I love, and we talked about, is it's the schools. It's where people come from. He's a Georgia boy, and guess what tattoo he got on his arm last year before he even knew? Detroit Lion.
No way.
He's got Detroit Lion tattoo
Are you
on his forehead.
serious?
Really?
I don't believe it.
I'm just saying.
He is a beautiful scumbag, isn't he?
I'm just
He is an absolutely
Crazy.
beautiful scumbag. And you see that clip of him at home. His thighs were bigger than his mom.
Pause.
They were, man. And you look at his
understand.
dad and his mom, and you could see
It's a
like
wild sentence.
this guy looks like a guy that would never shed a tear, but yet you could tell he was emotionally struck by what had just happened. And you look at this guy's RAS score, you go back to 87, and he is the number 8 out of thousands of his position in terms of RAS score. He ranks 8th. And I think the kid that we got from LSU is also in the top 20. So don't sleep on that RAS score, but don't sleep on the culture here. That kid's a scumbag, and he's our scumbag.
Braylon, can I ask one thing, man? I noticed one thing at the draft. Dude.
Go ahead.
What happened when, what were the picks for the Jets and what were the picks for the Bears? Line. Lions just, they know how to build a team. They know how to build a program. And building to get a title through the O and the D line in those trenches is just how you do it. This is a lot of fun to experience, Bray.
Pete, when you get a second, see if you can get that picture implemented just to show the people that he had that lion. No biggie if you can.
Oh, sure. I'll try to find that.
I sent it to the WhatsApp.
Oh,
chat.
did you? Okay, God, thank you, Bray.
I want to drop something from the chat here real quick.
Please,
Michael
get the chat
Wary
involved.
just
Go
hit
ahead.
us. And honestly, we got to catch up with some super chats.
Go
But
ahead,
I want to read Michael Wary's first. Shout out second one for the day and a $10 one too.
Go ahead.
Detroit Lions drafted 3 top sleepers in Miles Frazier, Ahmed Hassanein, and Dan Jackson. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Not a single player taken on day 3 has missed the 53-man roster in their rookie season out of
Interesting.
everyone drafted by Dan and Brad.
That's interesting.
How much of that is, and just to ask a question, how much of that is because they made the team, or how much of that is because we don't want our hit rate to look bad?
Well, in the very beginning, it was because we had a JV roster.
Gotcha.
But now as we're getting
Quintez Cephas.
a full roster, you don't need all 7 picks. In fact, you don't have the spots for all 7 picks. And so that's why Lions fans should not be upset at watching this regime package capital this year as well as future capital to go and get their guys, because their guys don't miss.
I'm glad you said that, because in the past, we never talked about the Kansas City Chiefs and who they drafted in the 4th round. We never talked about who the Patriots were drafting in the 5th round. We never talked about insert team that's winning the Super Bowl. You don't talk about past the first 3 rounds because it's not much there to what their team already is. If you could, do me a favor, Pete, put up the undrafted free agents, because not everybody got drafted.
The UD.
Anson Wells. We got 9 undrafted free agent guys, and I know this is Anson's cup of tea. This is where Anson makes his bones. He is able to point out the guys that are going to make the squad. He is able to point out the guys that are sleepers. I have a question for you. There was one man on this roster that was paid $200,000 to make this team, and he is a wide receiver like me. Tell me about the potential for Jackson Meeks to make the squad and what he could potentially be on this team, because they did pay him $200,000.
Wow.
Son of Clarence Beeks from Trading Places, by the way.
Interesting.
Oh, turn up.
Yes! Clarence Beeks.
I've got a
Fun
guy.
fact.
I've got a guy who is my insider, and he hits at least 50% of the time with stuff that we're not talking about. He's ecstatic about this Beeks kid. So I think that once again we got a guy in Isaiah Williams last year that, because of all of the injuries in the defense, we had to let go. We exposed him to the practice squad, and he was picked up on waivers. That's a guy we'd still like to have here, especially when we lost Khalif Raymond. It really was a bad loss when you looked at it in hindsight. This kid's going to make the team, and you guys are going to like him very much so.
Fair enough. You know who's already on the team and wants to be the best that he can be? He wants to be the best
Who's that?
in the league at his position. He's your favorite. It's Kirby Joseph.
My goals? Man, I want to be the best. I need to be the best. I need to put on a gold jacket. I feel like it's just everything I ever worked for all my life. Like, I just feel like that gold jacket, you mix that in with a Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying, Super Bowl champion, you know what I'm saying. I feel like that's just a great little mix right there. You can't never take that away from me. So I just feel like that's just two things that I really want to go for. The Super Bowl for my team, you know what I'm saying, as a teammate, and as a player for the Lions, and definitely just to put on that gold jacket one day, you know, and be recognized for you know what I'm saying, all my talent.
I love when players that are starting to get to that point where they're recognized as, you know, in that conversation with the best in their peers, maybe top 5, top 6. We know he's top 3, maybe top 1. But I love when they want to go higher. I love when they crave the gold jacket. I hate when people say, don't worry about the gold jacket. Let the gold jacket come. No. You want an individual to raise his raise his mental, especially if he's team-oriented already. We know what he is as a teammate. Now go get that golden jacket, because if he goes to get the golden jacket, you know what? That means he's the best version of himself.
That's right.
Ed Reed didn't come in the league and said, I just want to, you know, I just hope I'm okay. Now I'm going to get this gold jacket. And in that journey, I'm going to raise my teammates up. I'm going to be a good teammate. So I love this attitude from him. I love it. Shout out to the Big Ten, by the way. And you got some super chats going on?
I do, but you know, it's really weird that you love that when he says it, but the rest of the NFL hates it when Shedeur says it. Just absolutely strange. But, yeah, let's take a look at these super chats. David Smith breaking the bank today with a $100 super chat.
Whoa!
You've firmly put yourself in that wheel to golf with Braylon. But again, remember, guys, we got this awesome giveaway. Everybody can get into that.
He won already.
Get a slice of the pie. But the top 3 contributors today, you're going to get a chance to maybe win a golf outing with a legend, Braylon Edwards. But David Smith said, relax, it's April. Our Lions were great before Hutch went down. Still finished 15-3. We're drafting for depth and future. Never heard of before. Not quite sure what that means. I do want to catch up on a couple other ones. Not only are we good, this is Michael Wary again, not only good, but we're young and have a lot of dog in us. We might not lose a game this year if we stay healthy. I'm not sure about that one, but I love it.
Nose on that schedule.
Middle-aged sneaker chick is back. She wants a W.
What's the word?
Did you see the video of Samson Nakua slapping a Battlehawks fan after the Michigan Panthers game last week?
Oh, what?
No, but I will be looking for that now that you say something.
We got to find that.
Jason Kenyon, one of our big winners from last week. Maz, work nights. If you did it already, I missed it. Just woke up. Post what I sent you. Made in the USA. FM Knicks. Cade needs D-Book. Bring him home. I'm not sure that their timelines match up, but to come back to the safety of the hour, the safety du jour, a guy that is really the best in the league and just got paid for it. It's interesting because we have a guy being mentioned in the same breath as Wilt Chamberlain and Oscar Robertson, and we have a guy being mentioned in the same breath as Ed Reed, Kirby Joseph. Anybody that didn't want this kid re-signed, you just don't see what he means. This guy won 3 games on his own. Maybe my favorite Lion.
Maybe your favorite
Kirby.
Now that's saying a lot.
But Ed Reed's my all-time favorite player, and when you do something that only Ed Reed has done, you get on my radar, bro.
Pete, Ricky, you guys got anything to say about Kirby before I let Anson go off about a certain player that just got drafted?
Yeah, I do, actually, real quick, because I am making the wheels as we speak right now, guys. But real quick, let me throw in, man, Kirby Joseph came here to play freaking ball. Now you can see why the Lions drafted this guy, and he's totally a a Campbell sort of guy, Dan Campbell kind of guy, and he deserves every frickin' cent, especially when you lead the NFL in interceptions, and not only do it, but do it like a boss. And that's the kind of guy you need on the team. He is a boss. And I know that we all talk about Brian Branch being the captain on the defense or the captain of the secondary, which is fine, but it's Kirby Joseph's secondary to be he wears the C in my opinion, because he's always there in the right place, the right time. What a smart player, Bray. He does his homework. You don't make interceptions and lead the league in interceptions if you don't do your homework, and that's what I really like about Kirby Joseph. What do you think, Ricky?
I would agree with the last thing you said. That's the first thing I was gonna lead with. His football IQ is unmatched.
Absolutely.
Like some of the plays he'll make, they'll go back and replays. I'm like, yo, how did he even know that? That man is smart. He definitely should be going for that gold jacket. Why would people not want a player on your team to want to be the best? And that's who I want on my football team. Amen. I don't want anybody who wants to be second or third. Nah. I want somebody who's like, hey, I'm the best. I want to be the best, and they show up every day.
Look, let's be clear. He is the best secondary. He is the best safety on the team.
Yeah.
He is. I played in Seattle when we had Bam Bam Cam and you had Earl Thomas. Now, we knew who had to hit. We knew who the big hitter was, even though they both hit. We knew who the big hitter was. We know who the athlete was. We know the guy that he may have been the heartbeat. That was Cam. But the best safety was Earl Thomas.
Interesting.
And that wasn't up for debate.
Interesting.
I think the best safety in this situation, I think it is Kirby Joseph. I think Brian Thomas is something different. Brian Branch is something different now.
And big hits are sexier than interceptions at this point in the
Cam was
current
doing
NFL.
both. Yeah.
Yeah, and Branch does so many different things, but the captain, the guy that holds it all together in the backfield, it's Kirby.
Right.
I put it to you like this. When I played in the NFL in 2009, I played with Kerry Rhodes. Kerry Rhodes played safety. Kerry Rhodes, he Pro Bowl safety.
Kerry Rhodes.
Out of Louisville. Shout out to my boy. Kerry was an individual that he put everybody in their position, much like Ed Reed. I never played with Ed Reed, so I couldn't speak from Ed Reed, but it's the same thing. He placed Darrelle Revis. Now, Darrelle Revis is Darrelle Revis. Like, Darrelle Revis this is Revis Island. But when you have a safety that knows the game and that knows when you can take your chances and when you need to sit yourself still and when you're on the wrong side, and when you have a safety, a guy that leading that defense, captain like that, he puts guys in position and it works. Yeah. So Brian Branch is elite. He went to Alabama. We know the spill. You saw his first game, pick 6, Chiefs in Arrowhead. Kirby Joseph is the one that's placing. Kirby Joseph is placing. And that's what I love about Kirby Joseph. It reminds me of that energy that Kerry had putting Revis in the situation. Hey, look, yeah, you can blitz on this play. Yeah, you can play man-man. Even though it's covered 2.
Just move one foot to the right.
100%. And that's what Kirby Joseph is for Brian Branch and this Lions secondary.
And I do anticipate them giving an extension to Brian Branch. And I guess my question for you is, you're the NFL historian. If these guys play together for as long as I think they're going to, they have an absolute chance to be considered the greatest safety duo in NFL history.
Yeah, the Legion of Boom started to fall when Cam got hurt. They would have done everything to keep Cam and Earl Thomas. They're going to do everything to keep Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. Like, just like you have it on the other end with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, they work better together. Now, individually, Jahmyr Gibbs is great, but you put him with David Montgomery and you have your thunder and lightning. Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph together, they have the thunder and lightning on the opposite side of the ball. Now, let's put a pin in this for 2 seconds because I know we got to get back to the Pistons. But before we get to the Pistons, there was a player that fell in the draft this past weekend. Now, we've talked about it yesterday, but you haven't. Shedeur Sanders, once potential top 3, turned into first round, turned into a 5th round draft pick this past weekend. What is your thoughts on the entirety of the situation?
Well, I'm curious. When they were having interviews with Peyton and Eli Manning, did they penalize them for saying they want to be a legend, for saying they wanted that gold jacket? When they hung the photo everywhere of Eli and Archie and Peyton, did it elicit negative reactions? Why are so many people upset with the Sanders family? This is one of the greatest NFL players ever, arguably one of the greatest athletes ever. Basically, I'd put about Bo Jackson ahead of him. This is a family that went and took a Bodunk, Southern Florida expansion, basically college team, and put them on the map so much to the point that Colorado begged to have all of them. And then they went there and they turned the Colorado, the Colorado team around. And now you've got this guy who, you look at some of these players like Taylor Slug or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
This guy has no business being drafted ahead of Shedeur. But I don't want to get too far into that because I'm sure plenty of you that was done over the weekend. I know I texted you a lot over the weekend. I was pretty upset. I got a question for you. You've got 5 guys now in the quarterback room in Cleveland.
Crazy.
You got the ghost of Joe Flacco. You've got
He's holding on.
You've got the escaped inmate of Mr. Watson.
Right.
You've got a rookie who was drafted in the 3rd round of this same draft. Dylan Gabriel. And then you got another guy that I don't even know who it is. But right now, it's plus 350 if you are betting for Shedeur just to make this team. But you know who has the number 3 selling jersey in the NFL right now? Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, of course.
And at some point, the rubber has to hit the road, or however that
Rubber
thing
meets the road.
Meets it, whatever. So at some point, you've got to look at your franchise and you say, well, we're selling a hell load of these jerseys. If we waive this guy, a poverty franchise like the Browns would probably not allow him to get to their practice squad. I just don't understand right now how people can look at this kid and not see him as the best on film that they have of those 5. So to me, I think that Flacco needs to make the team. I don't know how you get away from Watson, but now one of these 2 rookie quarterbacks, how do you spend a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick and not keep them on your active roster? Because if you keep 2 and you push these guys through waivers to try and keep them and hide them on your practice squad, they're going to lose them both. But I think that Shedeur Sanders, much like our guy Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's keeping receipts, and he's going to make 31 franchises pay. I would take the money on Shedeur Sanders making this team, and I would not be shocked that after Watson face plants that this young man might have control of this team by week 10.
Yeah, I think to start the season is going to be, I think they're going to have Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, and Shedeur Sanders will be there.
And not Deshaun.
Deshaun's hurt. Like, Deshaun's mentally destroyed, and he's physical.
What do they do with him?
What can you do with him? You still owe him $92 million, $79 million. Or,
crazy.
No, 92? You still
Put him on the IR, or you put him on the PUP, or what?
PUP for now. PUP for now. They brought Joe Flacco back for a reason. You got Kenny Pickett, who started some games in recent years. Kenny will probably start as your starter, just based off of him playing in the league. Joe Flacco missed all of last year. Joe Flacco is your number 2. And then maybe Dylan Gabriel, because of how he got drafted, he's above Shedeur, but I don't think he'll beat Shedeur out.
I don't either.
You can say what you want to about all the other stuff. I watched the film like you watched the film. He's a much better quarterback.
Absolutely.
And then Kyle Stefanski, he knows the offensive position. He knows the offense. We'll see. We'll see what happens with him in that situation. Like, everybody's at fault in the situation. We talked about that yesterday. It is what it is.
It's a travesty. And I'll tell you what,
everywhere.
I hope that this kid absolutely sets this trend in reverse.
He started with the prank. Like, how he dealt with the prank call, I think that is the beginning. And then he interviewed, he said, look, I'm just, he was humble, but he's coming in, he's ready. His last name is still what it is.
Is he going to struggle having a different coach for the first time in his life?
Yeah.
Yeah, because since 7 years old, his dad's been his.
But also, too, the bad thing about it, you see the reaction to when they drafted him, which lets you know it came down from the owner, not the offensive coordinator. So that's the part that bothers me, because the head coach is the offensive coordinator. And if he's not excited, that means Shedeur just isn't getting free shots. That means he's getting a few. And those few have to be flawless for him to get more. That's the only thing that bothers me, because they were like, Shedeur Sanders. Hold on, didn't you guys draft him? Aren't you the head coach who's also the offensive coordinator? You didn't draft him. Your owner did. So that's the only thing that bothers me.
Really pulling for this young man.
Yeah,
it's terrible what's gone on, not only at the draft, but on social media. Not going to lie.
Right.
Seeing a lot of my friends in a new light these days.
Man,
good point.
it's like the election all over again.
Look at the chat right here.
Ricky.
Let's do this. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll switch the information. We'll switch the energy. Because I think we got to get back into the Pistons.
Hey.
I think we have to get back into the Pistons.
Twist my
This
arm.
potentially could be the Pistons' last game of the season. It won't be.
No.
But potentially. So let's get back into the Detroit
Don't say
Pistons.
that.
But first, Ricky, tell us a little bit about the Woodward
Don't
Sports
say
merch.
that. Yeah, get you some Pistons merch. It's not going to be. We got some more games to go, man. I know you're tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch. It's a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at shop.woodwardsports.com. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Hoodies, tees, hats, everything you need, guaranteed to turn heads. Everyone's gonna be asking you, where did you get that merch? I never seen that design. You know, F them kids. What are you talking about? I need that. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Get your new merch now. We'll be right back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The boys of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone. Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports.
2.
We doing Mark White?
Mark White, babe.
Oh, Mark White. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is. Dreaming of a new home but feeling that financial pinch? I know I am. Mark White and Associates are your trusted real estate experts. They will here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right. I said $5,000. Up to $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Woo. Game 5 for the Detroit Pistons and New York Knicks is tonight. But before we get into that, why don't you show us a little bit about that will? Because you showed me that will, Pete, and it was heating up.
Well, it's going to take me a second to bring it over, Bray.
So
Hang on
that's
a
my
second.
apology.
Just give me a quick second, my friend.
You take your time, and we will get started. Anson, you talked earlier. Let me ask you like this. What do you need to see from the Pistons in the first quarter? In the first quarter of the basketball game to understand that last game meant something to them?
A lead. I mean, you come home after you play as well as you do in MSG, and both games you fall
But they've
behind.
led almost in every game in the first quarter.
They've started slow at home both
Okay.
times, and they started slow in game 2. This is a team that has the energy, that has the youth, and again, I think they're just young and dumb enough to just completely brush off what happened at LCA both nights and go out there and play like a playoff team. But they have to get up. They have to carefully manufacture their offensive shots. And if they come out and they think that they're just going to hit threes early on and they don't work the post, if the three isn't falling, they're going to find themselves down 8 points by the time that the second quarter comes around. And again, we can get out of that hole. We've shown it time and time again. But the emotional impact of coming out in MSG early, bringing the energy and getting yourself even just a 4-point lead to leave that first quarter, it sets the tone. It tells not only the New York Knicks, but all of those peasants in the seats that the Pistons have come to play, period.
Pete,
Yes,
same
sir.
question for you. Go ahead and get involved in this, man. What do you need to see out of these Pistons at halftime?
At halftime?
By halftime, when it's halftime, 0-0, getting ready to go to third, what do you need to see? What do you want the Pistons to be?
I want the Pistons to end the second quarter with extreme grit, fight, and determination to prove a point in the last 3 minutes of the second quarter that this game is not in the control of the New York Knicks nor the New York Knicks fans. By the end of the second quarter, I need the Knicks fans wondering what the heck is going on. I need a complete confusion by Mr. Tibbs and all the rest of his friends that he's got there on the bench. He's got to make sure that his team is absolutely discombobulated. But that goes to what a point that Anson was saying earlier. That'll be on J.B. Bickerstaff to make sure that his team's head is correct, that his game plan is correct, and that he finds a way to take the crowd, take Mr. Tibbs and his friends out of the game, because once you do that, to start the third quarter, we'll see it back here in Detroit for Game 6. What do you guys think?
I like that. What I want to see from the Pistons in this game is how about you play like professionals? Like, how about you play like some professionals? Coach, like it's the simple things. I'm not asking you to go out there and score 50. I'm not asking you to score 40 as individual players. I understand that. But you can eliminate the turnovers.
Right.
Big time.
But you can eliminate boxing out, being out of position. You can eliminate the dumb shots. Like at some point, Malik Beasley, come on now. Where are you? This is the player that I want. That's the next question I wanted to get into is what player. For me, it's Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley is somebody that we've talked about all season long. Malik Threesley, as they call him. Excited. He enjoys Detroit. He's another guy that's not from here, but embraced it. And now we say, yo, we want this guy to come back. I got to see it. Like, I got to see it where it doesn't look like you're hoping that you could return to what you were this season. You're hoping that you can play like you did in the regular season when the lights weren't as bright. Like, bruh, we're not asking you to go out there and do that much. Just go out there and be the player that you were in the regular season. That's who I need, and that's what I need. Not no turnovers, but you can't have 8 turnovers in the last 8 minutes of the game. You can't miss boxing out when the guy's right there. He's the tallest person on the court. You know Cat's right there. You know that's the guy that you got to box out. But yet and still, he gets 2 rebounds and 2 buckets. Like, just eliminate the silly things. That's what I want.
Yeah, the youthful miscues have destroyed this team. We should be up 3-1 if we didn't have those miscues. I need to see Beasley hit early, and if he doesn't, I need to see somebody I've never seen before.
Does Beasley get in the game too late?
No.
Okay.
No, maybe I think he stays in too long when he's not shooting well. We've got a guy that can hit threes, and then we paid him to hit threes and bring energy, which is Simone Fontecchio. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of him.
Right.
But he is a better defender than Beasley. Yeah. And then you look at Sasser, and Sasser's a guy that is a good ball handler. He brings in a lot of speed, and he can hit the three as well. I need quicker adjustments from J.B. Bickerstaff. And come on, guys, like they got a 4-man rotation in New York and then Josh Hart. We've got 9, 10, 11 guys, and we've only seen past 8 because of the injury to Isaiah Stewart. So for me, I want to see some people we haven't seen yet. I'm waiting for that chess move, that Kurt Rambis in the lineup, that let's start Tayshaun Prince in 03 type of move.
I remember that.
All the great coaches, whether it's Chuck Daly, whether it's Pat Riley, whether it was Casey Jones, these guys dialed up a chess move. And it was somebody that you don't need 7 games out of Fontecchio. You need 8 minutes and 3 hard fouls. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, you do know. You watch the series kind of shaping up, and it's just one of those series that, oh, man, you look back like, man, if I can have this moment back in game 1. If I can have this moment in game 3.
All 3 games are like that.
If I can have this quarterback or 7 minutes back in game 4. Like, Pistons in this series, I think they surprised a lot of people, but at the same time, now that they're here, it's like last year. Remember when the Tigers made the playoffs last year?
Yeah, out of nowhere, it felt like.
And then in those games, in the moments when they're playing in the playoffs, you're not looking at them when they're playing against Houston like, oh, well, they got here, it is what it is. We're just happy they're making. No, you're like, hey, no, you got to play. You got to do something. They showed us it didn't matter how you got there. If you can win, you can win. And that's what I saw out of them. So that's what I believe is up in the air for the Detroit.
Yeah, and they certainly can win. They've only won in New York, so they should have plenty of confidence. And as a 6th seed that tripled your win total, you are playing with house money. So there's no reason to go in there tight. They should be very relaxed, and they should be angry. But I'll tell you what, I'm a little angry about the shade that is being thrown towards Cade Cunningham right now.
Okay, talk about it.
Let's talk about 3 names: Cade Cunningham, Oscar Robertson, and Wilt Chamberlain. Their first 4 games, there's a grouping of only those 3 guys that has done what Cade has done thus far, which is 4 20-10 games, all right, as a first time in the playoffs player. This guy has no help. He has no secondary scorer. In fact, a guy that everybody here in Detroit thought was washed, that we brought back in Tobias Harris, has been forced into a secondary scoring role and has been awesome at it. But when you look at the kind of offense that JB is drawing up for Cade, it's 60% of the time one-on-one, ISO. They're not getting this guy in the post. They're not working a 2-man game with Tobias. They're not even dumping the ball into a ISO post-up with Tobias right now. The guy who seems to be the most surest calm basket that we can find right now in the playoffs. Listen, Cade is doing every damn thing that he can. Had a triple-double with 4 blocks and 2 steals. And everybody's mad at him because he took either the wrong shot or he didn't finish it. Cade's only going to get better. But you guys are missing it if you're focused on him because, A, we wouldn't be here without him.
Right.
B, we would have been swept without him. And what this guy means to this team and every other guy that finds room to shoot, it's because of Cade Cunningham. I am sorry, but JB Bickerstaff, I put so much more of the blame on, even than Beasley missing 3s, Isaiah Stewart being out. His rotations are tired. His timeouts, crucially timed timeouts, are non-existent. And to be quite honest with you, when you turn red and run out into the half court, anytime that you don't like a call, guess what your kids are going to do? They're going to run out into the middle of the street and yell at your neighbor the same way that JB does. Our emotion flows with Cade and JB. You don't see Cade losing his stuff out there. You might see him missing some shots, but emotionally the guy has not melted down. JB has to rein it in, and he has to unleash the bench. Oh, and take a timeout when they're on a run every once in a while.
Who's somebody for the New York Knicks that the Pistons just don't want to see get going?
Cat.
He's already going.
I feel like that's the obvious answer.
Anson, I think.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
It's honestly that game was the Josh Hart game. And I joke about because Josh Hart came in right here and stiffed our baristas. Because
came in twice too, by the way.
I guess New York money doesn't work, but this is a guy that you look at their front five and they've got one of the best starting lineups, and that's it because there ain't nobody else on the bench. But Josh Hart can just completely disappear in games. He's been out-rebounded in this series as the number 2 rebounder on the Knicks, but he did everything that he wanted, not only in the intangibles, but the guy was hitting shots. Him and Mikal Bridges are the two that scare me because if one of those guys has a very, very good game, it doesn't matter if the other guy doesn't because you know they're going to give full effort and you know that Brunson and Cat are going to get theirs. I guess it's one of those two or Brunson's ankle because if Brunson's ankle is healthy, this is a very tough game. But if he's smarting and if he's looking like Willis Reed actually looked, he might have came out and gotten everybody on their feet. But if that thing is going to slow him down, there's no reason the Pistons can't win 3 straight against this team like they did in the regular season.
Good point.
Game 1, OG Anunoby, 23 points. Game 2, 10. Game 3, 22 points. Game 4, 8. So he knows what he's doing. Every odd number seems like he's playing. I don't want OG Anunoby getting going.
Yeah, I feel that.
I think he's a player. And this is the odd game, so we'll see with him. But they've done a good job with him for the most part. They haven't allowed him to really take off, still hampering some injuries as well. Go ahead.
And Byrne drops in with a super chat here. He's getting in on these cards and on
the wheel.
In that wheel to go golfing with the legend Braylon Edwards. Byrne says, also, what did Wilt and the Big O have when they finally found playoff success? Help. They had help in the form of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, because Wilt only got 1 ring. Wilt won with
2.
2 Philly.
Philly got one.
Philly,
with Philly.
And he got Lakers. Yeah, he got 2.
And actually, that is one of the reasons why the Warriors are the 3rd best franchise of all time, which is just weird to me. But let's back up a little bit here because Super Chat legend himself, Dante151, dropped $20.
Yes, he did.
A golf outing with the best Michigan wide receiver in history? Oh, hell yeah. Also, the UFL is looking into what happened between Naku and the Battlehawks. Still need to look that one up, my friend.
We got to see what happens. Apparently, something went down in the story.
Apparently.
Maybe we can pull that up before the end of the show. But also, Anson,
check that out tomorrow.
NLL playoffs. Not sure what that is, to be honest with you. Start this Friday. Go Buffalo Bandits. Do want to go back a little bit more. Jason Kenyon. Epiphany of the day. Z can play. Yet long-term coaching situation, kind of like Bridgewater. Possible. Methinks. Yeah, he likes. I would see Za'Darius having a team-friendly 2-year deal and player incentive laden, and hey, stick around and be an assistant on the line.
The only issue that I have with Z, I don't have an issue. The only question that I would ask, he went 4 sacks last year, and that's because he wasn't playing with Aiden. A lot of defensive line.
But he had 8 on the season.
I was saying 4 sacks here, and then 4 sacks with the Cleveland Browns, opposite of Myles Garrett. So you look at it in that space, is 9 sacks in total, 5 and 4. So 9 sacks. That's pretty much what he can give you for a season. But
I'll take that.
I would take that.
Hell yeah.
I would, but.
Because you know Davenport, if he stays healthy, is good for 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then you start dialing up all the other guys. And, that insider I was mentioning the other day, he loves throwing stats at me. And he basically broke down the last 25 years and the combined total of sacks by the starting defensive ends. It's not as high as you guys would think.
No.
And Myles Garrett and these guys that have been traded for 2-3 picks, and Myles hasn't yet, but that's what it would take. All of these guys that we've seen move around the league, these premier edges, how many rings do they have?
There's only one so far that meets the bill, and it's Von Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't at his best when he got traded, but guess what? When he got there, it worked. And he played next to Aaron Donald. He worked. Mm-hmm. He had 2 sacks in the Super Bowl. They won. He got a second Super Bowl ring. DeMarcus Ware, who left, but he didn't go for a bunch of picks back in the day. But to your point, you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and remember those 4 sacks that Z only had, he did it with the Canadian Football League defensive line. No Aleem, no Onwuzurike, no bookend in Hutch. You give him all those guys and throw in Tyleek in there, there's no reason that he finishes under 7 sacks. In fact, double digits are absolutely within his realm.
Good point. All right, look, we'll take one last commercial break.
Yes, sir.
We'll hear a little bit from Caesars. We'll come back. We'll finish the show. I will be doing Maz's Hockey 20-second update today. Or Pete.
And remember, guys, you got 6 minutes left to get in
100%.
before the raffle closes. Pete's going to give you a quick glimpse of them at the wheel
look at the
before we
Braylon
head
wheel
into the
real
break,
quick.
guys. So
Braylon wheel.
A lot of chances
Holy
out there.
smoke.
But remember, there's a much bigger. Oh, no, that's the
That's
Bray
the
wheel.
Braylon wheel.
Okay.
And then here is the contest,
Jeez.
the other our cards and everything else contest wheel.
Nice.
So if you qualified for the contest, or if you qualified for the Braylon wheel, you also were put in the contest wheel.
Very good.
I love this.
6 minutes, guys.
This
Get 'em
is
in.
so much fun, guys. And right now, you know what time it is. Everybody scan that QR code above my bald head and use the code word Woodward1000 to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account when you do, and make your first deposit and your first bet. If your first bet happens to lose, you'll get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan the QR code above my head. Use the code word over there, Woodward1000, to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. We'll be right back with deals, baby.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
So you guys are entering right now to golf with a legend. Yay. But we know that Buddy's Pizza is a legend around here in Detroit. They've been around since 1946. In fact, that original location at 6th and Conant, they're still slinging pies out of there. 22 locations total in the great state of Michigan. So sign up for Buddy's Rewards today and start earning points on every purchase. Download that mobile app. You'll see it right above my head there. And when you do order, you get into some of that legendary deep dish Detroit style pizza. You can save 10% off your entire order using the promo code 10meal. Again, you see it right above my head. So get yourself over to buddyspizza.com and get yourself some of that legendary Detroit deep dish.
You see, Cleveland Browns drafted 2 running backs. They drafted Quinshon Judkins from
Stud.
Ohio State, who actually wasn't in the room when they called. He was using the bathroom, little boys' room. And they drafted a running back out of Tennessee, obviously not bringing back Nick Chubb this year.
Samson.
Did you see Nick Chubb?
I want to talk to Samson.
What you know about that, man? Shout out to Dave Chappelle, half baked. But did you see Nick Chubb's workout video?
Yes, he was working out. I
saw
forgot
that?
to download it.
He's
but
jumping over the hurdles, and then on the last one, he jumps off the ground, explodes up, hits the ceiling with his head. He's like, they wrote me off. He said, but my story isn't getting started.
Are you drafting him in fantasy leagues this year? Because I'm not.
No. I want to see him get somewhere. I think there's some tread barely left on the tires. It's just the right situation. Yeah. Seems like a Jim Harbaugh guy.
I love Judkins.
Yeah.
Really
Quinshon Judkins.
I think this is one of the best running back classes that we will see.
What was your favorite food in school lunches, Pete?
I'm sorry, my man. There's no argument here. That's Pizza Friday, baby.
Yeah.
Pizza Friday.
I don't care. It looked like something they pulled off the floor, but I don't care. Pizza Friday.
What pizza did you guys go to?
Oh wait, it was like
lunch
whatever
pizza,
the
right?
cafeteria.
Oh, you're talking about that rectangle board.
Rectangle, yeah, that's what I was. The rectangle.
That's
like
crazy.
Pizza with the paste.
It's like oily, but not.
Yeah, right.
It's like
With the
oily
paste.
dry.
It went
That
perfect with that
tomato
chocolate
paste.
milk at 10-12.
Yes.
Chocolate milk was my favorite.
See,
thing.
That's where I was going,
Public
chocolate milk
lunch.
for sure.
Chocolate milk was like, what did they put in that chocolate milk?
Right.
Crack.
That paste. What about you, Gray?
cartons.
Oh man.
What about you?
Man.
My favorite was it probably had to be pretzels.
Pretzels.
Soft pretzels. When I went to
Yes,
when I
yes,
went to
soft
when I went to UAD, you would shout to UAD Jesuit, 7th, 8th grade in the academy. They had nachos, they had pretzels, they sold other. This is the first time they sold things. You know,
Yeah.
They had money or whatever. Warm pretzels. I love pretzels
Dude,
and
that's
nacho
sweet.
cheese, and they had that. So that was my favorite lunch.
That's what's
next
up.
to pizza from Greg's at Jesus.
You want to hear some blasphemy?
What you got?
I love ketchup on my hot pretzel.
Ketchup.
That's
Wow,
wild.
that is
You can
blasphemy.
You
go.
put
You can go nacho cheese sauce.
Sure.
Honey mustard,
Sure.
spicy mustard.
You can even
Lots
go
of different
ranch.
mustards. And I like
Yeah.
mustard. I like the coarse
Ketchup?
grain. Ketchup. It's going on my hot dog,
wild.
too. But I'm
Well,
putting,
yeah,
I'm putting
I
some
put
mustard
ketchup on
next
a
to
hot
it, though.
dog.
Don't worry.
I can put ketchup on a hot dog.
But if I can only have one on my hot dog, I'm going ketchup, not
Ooh,
mustard.
there you go.
I'm
buddy.
with you on that.
I
If
like
I can only
that.
have one, I'm going ketchup. But I like ketchup. And
I
mustard.
like that. I was a
No,
ketchup
you
guy
can't.
growing up.
You can't sleep on the Bosco sticks. But to me, Bosco sticks.
Corn dogs?
No, the Bosco sticks.
Bosco
with
Oh,
the,
I got you.
with the, had the cheese in the middle.
Yeah,
It's like a breadstick with cheese in the middle
Yeah.
and the marinara sauce. I'm good on that. I can eat that every day of the week.
Now, wait a second.
Okay.
Now, see, I'm thinking back up to East Lansing. They had Bilbo's, and they had Bosco sticks there.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
rest in peace, Bilbo's, man. I will forever miss that place.
It's not open.
No, it's been closed for a long. They might have a
How
second.
do you lose in a college town? I feel like because I feel like Menace
Corporate.
is forever gone.
Corporate.
Oh, got you.
Shout out
Chain 'em
Bagel
out.
Fragle. Rest in peace, Bagel Fragle.
that's
Einsteins
crazy.
and Brugels.
Yeah.
but
That's
there
what Ann
was
Arbor
only one. At least if you went to De La Salle and Warren like I did, there was only one post-school meal that was enjoyed by
Coney
most of
Island?
the folks there. Hot and now. If
Okay.
you didn't get the 5 burgers,
$5
5
holla?
fries for $5 from Hot and Now after a good day of school, then
Hot
I don't
and
know who
I thought you meant a hot
are.
and ready.
Hot. No, we used to call
Forgot
it
about
cold,
Hot and Now.
We used to call it cold and later. Cold
Now,
and
if you-
later.
Oh, if you want to go off campus now, when I was at King High School, my favorite thing to do was go off campus and then go to Motown, Coney Island, which is right there on
Yes.
Jefferson, right
Nice.
next to what? Now that was I got in trouble one time though. You can go off campus if it's lunch on your schedule. That's how you be back in the day. But you had to have your lunch. You had to have your student ID. Cop pulled us over. I had my student ID on me. I was like,
Yeah, I'm on lunch.
You seen that touchdown on Friday, right, sir?
He said it is 2:13 after the.
He's the first cop to follow kids back to high school, though. Like, nobody ever
Yeah.
got in trouble
He was
except me
bored.
and the car.
He was
followed
new.
us back to the school and followed us to Mr. Morgan's office.
Oh,
Yeah.
he walked you into the
He
principal.
He was new. He was a rookie showing
Shady.
off.
Shady.
A veteran ain't got time
I
for
was
something
like,
like
you
that.
do know I have a 3.2. He was like, I don't want to hear nothing. I was like,
Ooh, there is a Drew Sell. There is a Bilbo's in K Zoo. That is important information I needed to know, and it looks
I
like.
should have
That's a
gone
hype.
to that.
Are we getting this last one in from Freddie
don't
Felt?
have
It's
time.
Freddie Felt.
I can't have. All right, you're going to have to give me like two and a half minutes.
We got
here.
2 minutes. It's 5:53. Freddie Felt with the final super chat. There is still one hot and now left in Sturgis, Michigan.
Yes, there is.
I know there was one down in Clinton Township that disappeared in the last few years.
Yes, that was the one that we
As a
used to attend
suburban
as well.
kid, all I wanted was a Rallies or Checkers. Well, Rallies back in the day. Hot and now. I wanted one of those spots, but had to drive like 45 minutes to get one.
As an inner city kid, I got tired of looking at those spots.
See, I was Farmington Hills is right on the cusp, so we had rallies like right down the street.
So what was your suburban dream food? Like we're going out to the suburbs. I'm going to get myself some Olga's.
J. Alexander's.
What was it?
J. Alexander's.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay.
As a 14-year-old kid, J. Alexander's was everything.
Somerset?
Like, it was great. Well, we used to go to the one on 14 in the Haggerty.
Okay.
But then Somerset and then 7 in Haggerty. But everything hit, and the aesthetic made me feel like I was okay. I'm
fancy, yeah.
Had
Feel
to
that.
straighten my back up. Order like this. Yes. Can I have let me have a glass of water. Also, what are your specials today? That's what J. Alexander created. I still go to J. Alexander. I still love
The
J.
glass
Alexander.
of water request.
But
is
they
my
took the
favorite.
croissant away a long time ago. Like the croissants. Oh my God.
So
The
we got
croissants
Freddie
are
Feld in, and Steve-O, he's asking me, but I want to ask everybody here, where do you rank White Castle?
I know one thing. We better get this wheel going.
That's right, my friend.
I don't
Yeah,
eat White
that's
Castle.
right.
Let's roll it.
Braylon, would you like to
No,
do
what are
your
we doing
wheel
first?
first, or would you like to do the contest wheel, overall contest wheel?
It's on Anson.
We do the small one first, and then, I mean, golfing with
That's
a
not
legend is
small.
definitely the grand prize.
That
That's
ain't
not
small.
small. Do the golf first. And do
This is the
Anson
golf
last.
one, guys.
Yeah, we do Anson.
And we have a special new sound effect for this one. I was able to find some.
It better be Looney Tunes.
I wish you knew. I'm trying to find some different sound effects, guys. But let's see what it
1991?
sounds like with the hip hop. Braylon, this is your wheel. Would you like to spin it for us, please, sir?
All right, go.
Good luck, everybody.
And
thank you for
girls
this.
go
See?
crazy.
This is
Listen
pretty
to
awesome.
music as
Make
it
the club
spins.
go crazy.
Just
Sounds
to warn
like
you
Tech
guys, I've
Nine.
golfed one time in the last 20
It
years.
definitely sounds like
Just Tech 9.
MC Breed back in the day.
Yeah.
And what we got
Ain't no
here? Who's
future in your
golfing?
front.
Uh-oh, he's
Who's
going
golfing?
to get.
Oh my goodness!
I think it's Dante.
I think we have an upset of Made in USA. I think Made USA.
Uh-oh, is it going to stop?
Made
Oh,
USA is going golfing, baby.
made in the USA. Congratulations, brother.
In the last second, he is nipped at the line,
Man.
talking about Dante for 151, but made in the USA. This is the second time made in the USA has won, correct?
Last week, did he win?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago. Okay.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, no, I think he won the Pistons thing.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because
Yeah, he won the
he didn't
Pistons,
win
yeah.
last week.
And
I
he
know
wasn't, and maybe he wasn't there.
He wasn't. Yeah, you're right. I think he was
Yeah.
one of the ones that wasn't there. You're right.
That's what it was. All right. Well, you know what? He's here today. He's won.
that. That's awesome.
We'll get him all the details later. We'll get your information, and we will get that detail. We'll get out probably, what is it now? It's April 28th.
29th. Yep.
29th. We'll get out in June. June's not too far. Let's get out in June. Early
Clear my
June.
calendar.
There you go.
Made in USA. Make sure that you text Maz at woodwardsports.com. Maz
Yeah,
at
make
Woodward
sure you do
Sports.
that,
I'll throw
guys,
that in the
'cause-
chat. Gentlemen, Anson.
Can you shuffle?
It has been both wheels were shuffled 5 times, by the way. Anson, why don't you take over and remind everybody what we're spinning for?
We are spinning for a sealed pack of cards as well as this whole lineup of cards here. And one of them is that rookie Braylon Edwards that he's going to sign for you before we send it off. But listen, guys, we have had some people in the past not claim their prizes, so make sure you follow through. But I also need to ask everybody to pound that like button before we spin this wheel. Let's get us up over 100. And I am going to wait until this red one coming up right now on burn. Spin it. Go. Good luck, everybody. Pound that like button while the wheel is spinning. Let's get us up over 100, please.
Pound it.
And I will be back on Thursday. We'll have another prize package for you then. Pete and I will figure out something for you. And of course, we got Braylon here too, so at the very least, we're going to get that legendary autograph.
I have to be honest with you, I'm kind of rooting here for David Smith. He donated $100.
And Dante's going to make up for it.
Oh, no, David's still
Is it
there.
gonna stop?
David's still there. David's still there.
Oh, boy. Just missed on 2.
Only paid
Dante.
$100 for all that.
That's tough.
Appreciate you, David Smith.
Appreciate everyone that's made.
Everybody. Appreciate them all.
David Smith, you are the winner. Same information, I do believe.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. And I'm
I'll throw it in
gonna
the
dig
chat.
up some extra stuff because of that $100 awesome super chat that we will put in there. maybe some Woodward swag.
Yeah, for sure. Dante151, you email as well.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Always fun doing the show with Anson Wells. He always brings the best gifts, the best things for you, the chat. Because we appreciate you. The show is not existing if it is not for you. For Ricky, for Pete, I'm Braylon Edwards, man. We had a good time with you guys. See you tomorrow.